Why is it that most girls, they look at an online dating profile and it just kind of like, just immediately fades into the background as though they've read 100 others just like it. It doesn't pop. It doesn't get their attention. They just, breeze right by it and don't even take a second look. One big reason has to do with not just what you're communicating, but the way you're communicating. In fact, I would go so far as to say you could take the same ideas that are probably already in your profile, and if you phrase them and state them in the right way, i.e. good verbal game, right? If you do that right, you can take a boring profile and make it much more exciting. General adjectives, general lists of traits are very boring. Specifics are interesting. If you ever watch comedians, when they do their punchlines are very, very specific. They don't say a politician could do this. They pick a specific politician and say, Bill Clinton could do this or Donald Trump could do this or whatever. Does that make sense? So specifics are much more interesting than generalities. That's the major principle here, and we're going to talk about how to get specific in the right way. So many guys in their profiles, they say something like, I want a girl to be smart, I want a girl to be fun, funny, witty, something like that, some kind of a personality trait. And that's very boring. The word smart on a page doesn't do anything. The word fun on a page doesn't do anything. Like, the word fun on a page is not fun. It's boring, right? But if you get specific about it, you can make it interesting. So one way to get specific would be give an example of a fun thing you've done or a fun thing you could do or a spontaneous thing a girl could do, something like that. But speaking specifically about witty in this example, here's an example of how you might make that interesting, funny, witty, smart thing, how you might make that come to life a little bit better. And you might also paint the picture of you and the girl interacting in a way that is high value and in a way that is intriguing and has sexual tension. So you might say instead, and then maybe as a footnote at the end of your profile, and please, please don't be unarmed in a battle of wits. See how that's a lot better than please be smart or I want a smart girl, right? Don't be unarmed in a battle of wits indicates I do verbal banter. I am witty myself. We will have, some sexual tension and some flirting and foreplay and that kind of stuff. It says so much more. It's so much more interesting. Because why? Because you got specific. And yes, you also framed it well. That's important. But the specifics are what make it pop. A lot of guys want girls that are into similar hobbies that they are, right? I want a girl that's, likes to go to the gym, same way I do, also likes to cook, also likes to dance salsa, something like that. And again, listing your hobbies is really boring. Saying I want us to be into the same things is really boring and makes you fade in and be like every other guy. But how could you make this a little more interesting? Well, first of all, pick specific hobbies. Again, specifics are more interesting, right, instead of general hobbies. And then two, give a specific example, make it come to life, tell a specific story or an instance or an example that's going to be, a lot more, a lot less than just a list of adjectives. So instead of like maybe I want a girl who's into sports, for example, how about if instead you said bonus points if you actually enjoy football rather than just waiting for the game to be over so you can have your way with me. Right? First of all, again, notice the framing, notice the storytelling, notice the high value, but also notice the specifics. You've painted a specific picture of a specific story, a specific event, and she can imagine that. There's no image for being into sports. There is an image for getting up from a professional sports game and having your way with someone. Right? So you've made it tangible, you've made it concrete, you've made it a specific visual image, and specific visual images, specific events are funny. Generalities just fade into the background, just fade into obscurity. I had a client, and he said his ideal age range they'd like to put in is, really tight age range in like the late 20s. So let's say it's like 25 to 29-year-old is his ideal age range. And you want to put like, age range 25 to 29, which first of all is a terrible idea because it's so narrow. And it's not like you wouldn't date like a very mature 24-year-old or a gorgeous 30-year-old if your age is like 25 to 29. So it's kind of silly to even put that range in that way, which brings me to both how to make it more interesting and also how to make it more applicable and less limiting to your results. And so we took this idea of ideally age 25 to 29 and we phrased it as this. If you're under 25, you better be very mature. If you're over 29, you'd better be very fit, right? So now you're giving an idea of, a picture, a visual of a young, immature person won't get my attention. An old, out-of-shape person won't get my attention. You're showing you have standards. You're showing the specifics of why you care about that age range. It makes it come to life. It says something about you and being selective. It does a lot more and is a lot better than 25 to 29 preferred or something like that. Okay? So again, we've been specific, made it more interesting, made it more high value, and we've captured more personality all at once. Now, these are obviously 4 general things. These may or may not apply to you. If they don't, please don't shoehorn these into your profile. I know the last time I put out an online dating video, I put like a little segment, like it was like 10% of my profile, and then I saw people using that 10% as their entire profile, or having that and then having the rest of the profile completely incongruent with it. Please don't do that. Please take the principles and formats and ideas of this and apply it to what you already are and what you're actually already doing. So if you aren't into a girl that's into sports, please don't use this sports metaphor in your profile. That's just silly. Instead, take the idea of find a specific thing and find a specific example, and then tell it that way instead of as a generality. So maybe for you, it's being into politics instead of being into sports, although be careful with that one in dating. Maybe for you, it's being adventurous as opposed to traveling. But then again, a specific adventurous thing is a lot better than just the word adventurous, okay? So specifics matter. If you don't believe me, watch stand-up comedy, watch the way they do their punchlines, watch the way they make it come to life. It's the same thing in an online dating profile. You have a very short time to get her attention. Use it to the most.